Good evening, everybody. My name's Kerry Duval. I am the Warrior Queen. Welcome to Attitudes of Mindset with me and Anthea. Tonight we've got an amazing guest. See you in a minute. Good evening, ladies. How are you?
I'm beautiful. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks. Have you finished your food, Anthea?
Do you know what? I keep going in between to go and have some.
I noticed while the video was on, you was got a gob full of food. Oh, God.
I'm so sorry. It's so good. I'm saying every time I take a bite and I try and leave it, I need to take it out of my sight because every time I see it, I want to eat it. So, out of sight, out of mind. So today, we're talking about gratitude today, and I'm very grateful for my food. Can I just say, extremely grateful for my food.
Beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. No, well, tonight's obviously the first time that you and me have connected without Adam being here to keep us in line.
Yes.
But I'm sure he'll pop up in the comments. I've got to switch.
We could go a bit wild tonight, Kerry. We can go absolutely wild.
Yeah. Well, we've got to keep it in line because we are warriors.
We are.
There you go. You're warriors.
Yeah, we are warriors.
Yeah, and obviously tonight we're joined by an amazing guest, Liz. Welcome to Warrior TV.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's exciting.
Yeah, so obviously Adam's not done his job properly. I'm going to point out to that fact that Adam slacked a little bit and not provided us with a bio for Liz. So she's a complete stranger to us. So we're going to start with, tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah. So I am Canadian, and I currently live in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. And we've been here for almost 2 years. So my husband and I are digital nomads. We literally just became empty nesters. So we're two girls. They left the nest. And so now they're venturing out onto their own life. And now it's just my husband and I. And so we've been an entrepreneur since 2010. That's our entrepreneurial journey. And so I've just been focusing and receiving clarity and receiving gratitude and abundance and just really becoming all the greater version that I can ever be, the most extraordinary version that I can ever be. So I just graduated from transformational therapy with Marissa Peer. So I'm now a hypnotherapist. And I'm also a mentor for women. So I help them break through barriers with their mental health, as that's where my journey is. So that's where I'm really passionate about, and really finding the root cause of the issue so we can eradicate it and reframe it moving forward. So I spend a lot of time focusing on gratitude and abundance, as well as manifesting the most extraordinary life possible while being anything that we can ever be, and just being the greatest version of the woman that we can ever become. And with that, with my mental health journey, I became a 3-time published author as well. So my first book was published in 2019, and and it's called The Girl Behind the Mask, and really depicts my mental health journey. And so that was my published memoir, and I compiled 2 other compilations as well after that.
Cool.
Wow. That's so cool. Well done.
Massive well done for being an author.
That's quite amazing. That's a journey.
Thank you.
Yeah, massive well done on all your achievements.
Yeah, the book was actually a huge struggle, and that's why I learned a lot about gratitude and relying on faith, right? Because it was a 20-year journey with mental health, like 20-plus-year journey with mental health, and then just trying to figure it out myself. There were no coaches and no mentors really at the time, and so just really relying on my faith and relying on the support system that I had, and being grateful for that support system so I can continue moving forward and sharing, or just focusing on the little amount of hope that I actually had at the time, just that glimmer of light.
Cool.
And that's a push forward.
And that is the power of gratitude, isn't it?
Huge power. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
I think if no, I was just going to say, whatever is going on in life in general, when you add gratitude into it, you literally can feel the difference. And I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, I tried gratitude and it didn't work," but it's not a one-time thing; it's a continuation, right? It's doing it daily, all day, like not all. Just being in gratitude. However,
Oh, I think we're going to lose Anthea again. Yeah, we're going to lose Anthea a little bit. Or maybe
is that me again, by the way, with the internet?
Yeah, Anthea, we're having a few technical issues.
It's happening all day today.
Yeah. You're back with us for now. The question I was going to ask was, so would you say that you're grateful you went through your mental health journey because it's provided you with a subject for you to basically launch your brand new self on?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like when everyone is going through their own mental health journey, because we all have mental health battles, right? So whenever we're going through it at the time, we don't see gratitude. We only see the struggle. We only look at it from a linear perspective, just straight ahead. We don't think of anything else. All we do is just focus on survival mode. Now, working with gratitude and incorporating gratitude becomes so powerful, especially in our mental health journey, because we can see things outside of our perspective. We can see the beauty of everything. Just living in Mexico for the last couple of years, I've learned to see the beauty of everything, to see the abundance of all around us all the time. And when we can do that, we can really fill our cup up first so that we can give back to the world in such a beautiful way. And that's what my mental health journey taught me as well, is to look at the perspective, look outside of yourself, and live by faith and not by sight. That's my mantra in the Bible. And really living, but not seeing only in this perspective, because a lot of times it blocks us from gratitude and blocks us from abundance, but seeing things all around us. Because when we can see things all around us, to see the beauty, see all of the abundance, we'll always have gratitude with everything.
Yeah.
And so the mental health journey, although it took me over 20 years to realize that, it's brought me out really far, and I don't regret anything, because I believe there's no regrets in life anymore. It's only lessons in our trials, and it brings us resilience, determination, our unstoppability, and perseverance to really continue forward. And so I'm super, super grateful for what my own mental health journey has taught me about gratitude, about everything, about life.
Yeah. So mental health has been your best friend then, because obviously it's taught you a lot about yourself. It showed you how strong you are as a person.
Yeah. It was half my life. It was from the time I was in kindergarten, and maybe even before that, right? And like, just to give you a little bit of tiny backstory, my biological dad left before I was even born. And so I never met him. And so I was having trouble coping with a sense of belonging and trying to figure out my own self-worth and my own enoughness. And it started even from that time. And then my stepdad came into the picture when I was 3 years old, and he had a daughter, like my sister, and he had a daughter with my mom and things. And so I always felt at that time, second best. And that's how I always brought it up into the picture. That's how I always believed. That was a limiting belief in me. And so throughout the entire time, I was going through bullying. I was going through suicidal attempts, depression, severe anxiety, just trying to find my way. Rather than look ahead, it became an obsession to find happiness. That's all I wanted. That's all I craved, was inner happiness. And that was 20 years of my life. over 20 years. And then afterwards I was like, what am I doing? I need to look at something more better for my life, more future forward than just trying to seek happiness. I need to look inside myself internally and what my mental health journey, what every single stage in our life is teaching us. And so that's when I started. My gratitude journey only came since probably about 2012 is when I really started to focus on gratitude and being grateful for everything, being grateful for the journey, being grateful for even my biological dad leaving, because he taught me a lot about my own self-worth, and being grateful for everything.
Wow. So obviously mental health for you has opened up so many doors for yourself.
Amazing doors.
Yeah.
Amazing doors, because I became passionate in helping release the stigma of depression and trying to figure it out that way, and helping people, helping women especially. I have a really huge calling for women, but helping women with their own depression, making their mark in this world, and coping through their own traumas, their own abuse, whatever it stems through their own mental health journey, to being like, you know what, it's okay that you went through this, because this is why you're here. This is the resilience that came forward in light of it. That's the light in the darkness you are feeling.
Yeah.
And everyone has everyone has a journey, right? Everyone has a journey of some kind of mental health, like you said. And it is, some people realize it sooner than others, and some people are later on in life. And some people, I think a big part of it depends on who's in your life, and who you're surrounded by, and the influences around you that makes the difference to how you can really push yourself forward or not, or be quite stagnant in things. And I think one of the things that with gratitude is you realize, and you said earlier on, it's that you realize your own limiting beliefs, and you can come to realize your own limiting beliefs. A lot of people don't know what a limiting belief is. They don't realize they've even got a belief system like that. So I think once you start tapping into gratitude and things come to you, and you can actually see and feel the difference in your everyday journey. So if you're not progressing, it's normally because there's a limited, I'd say 99.9% is because there's a limiting belief there. So like you said, you help people find that inner really freedom from the core of everything. And once you can find the core of it, right, that's where they can really connect with themselves and connect to their higher self, and be able to create new beliefs for themselves, and be able to go forward in a way where it's just not seeking happiness, right? Because I know that seeking happiness is something that we all want to be happy, but there is a bigger purpose and that bigger purpose actually aligns with happiness, right? Because once you find your happiness, the bigger purpose comes along with it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think personally, before I lost my nana, and this was going back 3 years ago, I thought that I was happy, and I thought that I was happy and content with my life. But then sadly she's passed away, and in losing my nana, I hit rock bottom and I attempted suicide. And my mental health obviously was at the lowest at that point. And you know what, building myself back up from that point, and then turning me into the warrior that I am now. I mean, if you'd have asked me 12 months ago, would you be ever be live on Facebook, live on YouTube, sharing your story, talking about hitting rock bottom and attempting suicide, I'd be like, not a chance. You'd have to pay me to do that, to make a fool of myself. But now I'm doing it on a weekly basis, and you know what? I love it. I've never been this happy, and I love doing it. So basically, mental health and hitting rock bottom has showed me that I'm a stronger person than I thought I was, and there was more happiness to get in my life. So I'm actually grateful that mental health hit my life, and I'm grateful that I hit rock bottom, because it showed me a lot about myself. I'm not grateful that I lost my nana. I miss her to bits. I'll always hate the universe taking my nana off me, but it had to happen to make me the person that I am. And maybe there's a higher calling for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's so surrendering
well,
to that, isn't it? To know that that's the cycle of life at the end of the day. That's, you know, and these things happen in life at a particular time, like you said, for yourself to be able to expand in you and be able to go to that next step and that next level. I find it also interesting and how we can just really tap into the gratitude or the appreciation of being thankful. Like I've, you know, throughout the day, it's like I always think, what can I be thankful for? Because I think thankfulness, gratitude and appreciation all sit on the same vibrational level. It's not like one has a low frequency and one has a higher frequency. They all sit on the same frequency, and that's a level, a frequency of love, because that's what you're emanating at the time. So while you're doing that, and we're able to sit, and whether you're writing it, whether you're thinking it, whether you're saying it, it's all a way to be able to express. Because I always think, like you just said, Kerry, you don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow. You don't know if the people around you, you're going to see them tomorrow. We don't know. We just don't know. So, and we don't know what's like, we've got a vision of what we want for our life. And we know kind of like that we know that we're going to do certain things throughout our day, but we don't really know what's going to actually happen. Like our life is the unknown in that sense, right? Mm-hmm. So if we can be thankful for what we do know, and that's that we're here right this minute and we're alive and we're able to have these conversations here and now. And like like right now, to be able to say to both of you guys, like I feel very grateful and thankful that you two are here and we're able to have this conversation and people are able to hear in, put their comments, right? And it's so powerful and feels so good.
Yeah. Well, while you're on the subject of comments, we've got a Facebook user. Morning, love this conversation and thank you for sharing your story. Very empowering. I can't say who you are because it's just coming up Facebook user. So please identify yourself, Facebook user, please.
Let us know who you are.
I don't like StreamYard sometimes.
I told you it's the unknown.
Exactly.
It's all the unknown. What else have we got here? We've got that's amazing. Gratitude is so important from Jessica. Absolutely, Jessica. If there's anything you can tell us that you've seen a change in your life, Jessica, by using gratitude and being grateful daily, please do let us know so we can give a couple of examples of other people too. That would be brilliant. We've got here. Hello, ladies.
From Adam.
Hi, Adam.
Yeah, we've got a question from Adam. What has COVID taught you about yourself? We'll let our guest go first.
Go for it.
What? Sorry,
what has COVID taught you about you?
I've had this discussion with my husband a lot since 2020. So in order for us to go, another little backstory, to move to Mexico, my husband suffered a concussion back in 2019. And by the grace of God, he didn't pass away. By logical expectation, he should have, but he was literally being surrounded by divine guidance. And so anyways, we were really struggling financially a lot through not like the rest of 2018, the rest of 2019. And because he received his concussion at the end of 2018 and the entire 2019, we really struggled a lot financially. And so in Canada, COVID just started happening it just started touching its basis in January of 2020. We decided to move to Cabo San Lucas for a better life, a new beginning, new decade, new beginning. And so our intention, our expectation was to move here for 6 months and then go back, work the hospitality industry, work in the hotels, earn money, and then come back to Canada to start a life over. When we arrived here, 3 weeks later, COVID happened and we got shut down, hotels got shut down. And so I was like, what are we going to do? I have two options here. We all have two options because everything in life is a choice. So the two options that I can see right now is to pull the covers up over our head, not leave our bedroom, stay in darkness, and be like, what the heck am I going to do with my life because I can't do anything, or get up and rise. And for the past 8 years, I've been struggling to work on my business. There's a lot of lack of clarity, procrastination, imposter syndrome, all the things. Excuse me. And when I was thinking about this, I was like, we're getting pushed into quarantine. I've always wanted to become a digital nomad, work from my laptop, coaching women. I'm going to do that. So rather than stay while anticipating when hotels are going to be open, because it took almost a year for actually hotels to be open again here, I decided to get my butt in gear and work my business. And I've always believed that, this is hard actually to say in live, but I'm going to say it anyways because I'm feeling called to say it. I've always believed that we always have excuses in life. Whether we want to write a book, there's always going to be an excuse. Life always happens. But COVID couldn't have actually come at a better time because now we got pushed into quarantine and now we have the time to do whatever we desire. So even if when we wanted to write a book for 10 years, I have a friend that's been wanting to write a book for 10 years and she still hasn't done it. And it's been well over 10 years now and she hasn't really completed it. Now you can either wallow in your self-pity or you can get up and rise and write that book because now you have the time to do it. So COVID taught me a lot. Like during the first 6 months of COVID in Mexico, I compiled 2 other books. I became an author and compiled 2 other books. I launched a few programs during COVID, online programs. So I really started my business and started flourishing. And I received more clarity. And now I'm in the process of writing another book. So I chose the latter of it. I chose what most people have chosen to do. I've chose what most people have not chosen to do, which is I'm going to just kind of sit in my darkness for a bit. I'm just going to sit in my thing and I'm just going to sit here and just kind of feel sorry for myself. But I was like, I'm grateful that this had to happen because it pushed me to my next level. I saw kind of like the light at the end of a dark tunnel and it pushed me to a next level. A level that's so extraordinary and so expensive that I couldn't think of. I don't believe it would have happened unless a journey such as COVID happened.
Yeah, brilliant.
I
think personally,
agree with you.
Oh, go on.
No, I was just going to say, I totally agree with that. How many people's lives have changed in a positive way through COVID because it brought people to a point where they had to really look inside themselves and understand because they were locked in a house. And that's challenging. You know, it's a challenging time. So, it's quite amazing to what some people chose to do with that time and other people chose to do. Go on, Kerry, please.
Yeah, I think personally, the first lockdown, it taught me that I think the first lockdown, it was sort of like me and Adam sort of learned a lot about each other and we sat and talked because that's about it. That's about all we could do. But we were at breaking point at one point and it taught us a lot about each other and we were ready to actually split up, go our separate ways when lockdown lifted. Mm-hmm. Obviously that didn't happen. And obviously now we got married. So
congratulations.
It's like nearly 7 months, so just over 7 months, sorry. So still quite newlyweds, you know. We're having a few blips. We've had a few blips, but we're okay. Hey ho, every married couple.
It's all good.
And that's the thing, right? Like that's the thing, especially when it comes to relationships. I've had instances where, like, my husband and I have been entrepreneurs together for the last 10 years. So it wasn't a hard transition to be like, okay, now we're working together. Like we've always worked together for the last 10 years. But I've known instances even just with my mom, you know, they got pushed into quarantine, her husband, and she's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to talk to them anymore, because they would work for hours, their 9 to 5, whatever. Then they would come home and they have things to share with each other about work. And now they're stuck in a room, and now they're with each other. And they're like, I remember her calling me, and she's like, Liz, you got to help me, because how do you and CJ do it? Because I don't know how to talk to him, because we usually just kind of talk about work. And now we're just like, we're here all the time together, and we've been here all the time for months, and I really don't know what. And there's been instances with friends that is like, they were so used to not being together during the day that the husband had to go upstairs to the bedroom to work, and his wife would stay in the kitchen table or whatever to work, and then they would reconvene at 5 p.m. because they didn't know it was an unfamiliar territory, and they didn't know how to talk to each other.
Yeah.
So they couldn't work in the same room together.
Yeah. No, well, obviously over COVID, so obviously COVID, gave me a husband, but it's also allowed us to create the mental health warriors, get it online, and get it up to the point now where we're reaching, I think it's like 10,000 people a week. That's just on Facebook. Amazing. And I don't know what the up-to-date figures are on YouTube. I'm not quite sure. I've not actually checked them this year. So.
But it's so cool, isn't it? Because that time, during that time for me, I actually was running a dog boarding business, a very successful one. Even though I've done coaching and I'm an author, in between that, it was something that I love dogs, and I just happened to fall into building my business, and it was me, my daughter, and my son. So during that time, it completely shut down. So it's just being at home with my children, and I say children, they're probably people that know me, they're older, but having that time with them, because they're not little babies, having that time with them though, what's that?
They're still your children though.
Oh yeah, they're still my babies, but they don't look like babies. Thank goodness. But having that time with them was so precious. I tell you, was absolutely amazing, just to wake up every day and be with my kids. Like, how often do you get to do that? As in, like you just said, Liz, so many people didn't know what to do and how to be, but we're born separately. We're not born stuck together. So it's something that everyone would have to learn how to do, because even if you are the best couple on this planet, or you've got the best relationship with your sister or your brother or your children or whoever is, being like in the same household 24/7 is actually not good for you, so it can't be good for you, because otherwise we would have been born with other people glued to us and we would have walked around like that, but we're not. We're supposed to be like, we're born separately, we leave the world separately, so in between that we need our own time, we need our own space. But it really taught me how to I done a lot of forgiveness during that time. Actually, I spent a lot of time going and writing a lot of writing out ideas, talking with people to build businesses. I'd done a number of things during that time, actually, because I'm the same when it comes down to me having time to myself. My mind just opens. What can I do? What can I create? What can I write about? What can I? So, and it really taught me the power of who I am, of a spiritual being, just being here on earth, and what we can do. And when we put our mind to something, I know I've achieved, like publishing books and published them myself, or starting, different businesses and doing very well in them. However, you still don't always know the true power of self until you're put in those situations to see what do you do in these kind of situations, and you either thrive or you drop down, but either which way around, it's all part of the journey, and it's all okay, because if you allow yourself during these times to go down into quite a depressive state, then there's only a way up from that, and you can only learn. If you're on a high and everything's going great, there is going to come a time where it drops to a certain degree, because everything needs balance in the world, right? So I definitely learned that during COVID, that everything has balance. And I learned a lot about my children, just spending that precious time with them. But I think in general, it was a good time. I loved lockdown. I actually thought it was the best thing that could have ever happened.
No,
true, exactly. I believe that too.
Yeah,
and I won't agree with you on that.
Yeah. Well, there's a quote that I always remind myself of. It came really to heart. I really started taking it to heart fully during lockdown, during the beginning of COVID, and by Tony Robbins. And he says, you cannot control external circumstances, but you can only control how you react to it. And 98% of our thoughts are subconscious. And so when we think about that, only 2% are conscious. And so when we think about that, if we are wallowing in our pity, if we're always negative, I believe in manifestation so greatly that we manifest in such a greater level. And a lot of the times we're also manifesting negatively too, just based on our thoughts.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
when we manifest negatively, if we switch it around to the positive and create a more abundant mindset, a more gratitude mindset, imagine just how expensive our manifestations can be. How great, because we manifest on a daily basis. And so it's all based on our subconscious thoughts. That it's like, COVID happened, but we can really pick ourselves up if we choose to. It's all a choice, but our choice can either make us or break us.
Absolutely.
I chose not to let it break me.
Absolutely. And it's like we live in a manifested world, don't we? Every second is a manifestation. Everything is so like just now is this is what happening right this moment. It's a manifestation of the thoughts that we've all had and the conversations that we've had, knowing and creating, co-creating together. And obviously me and Kerry haven't been on by ourselves before. I've never met you before. Liz, you've never met me. But yet we trusted the divine. We trusted it's a natural trust, isn't it? To know that we're going to come together. And we probably didn't really think about, we don't think in a way of too far ahead. It was just like, this is what we're here for. We want to speak about gratitude. There's 3 powerful women here. Come together and we can have an amazing conversation. And here we are, exactly that happening. So, how can we not be grateful for that? We have to be grateful for that and thankful for everyone who's joining us.
Yeah,
exactly. I can see comments coming through, right? Kerry, do you want to read some comments, my darling?
Yeah, we've had quite a few. Obviously, we found out the mystery Facebook user is Melissa. I'm thinking Melissa Christie because that's the only Melissa I can think of. Sorry if it's another Melissa. I can't think of any others right now.
It could be Melissa Rodriguez, someone that I know too, but it could not be. So, yes.
Robert on YouTube. Yes, solitude in everything. I'm so grateful for those times. I am fully grounded and connected to source. It's magical. Hang on a minute. Adam's put life is full of surprises. And then Robert has also mentioned balance. Yeah, I was thinking of that word Christmas Day, so I didn't attend a live stream at that. Oh, hang on a minute. It was Melissa Christie. Yeah, I'll get back to this comment. I was thinking of that word Christmas Day, so I didn't attend a live stream that would have sent me to heaven. Jeffrey Gittimers instead. I wanted to see if staying even worked, and it did. It was the first Christmas in memory where there was no sign of depression at all. It was a very pleasant day, even though I was alone. So he's grateful for COVID because obviously he's been learning. I dig it. Hang on a minute. I dig it that it's been experienced with many. It has taken a few back, but once they realise I have no agenda, I want to express gratitude, things go well. So, obviously, COVID has obviously affected people in many different ways. So obviously with us, COVID taught us a lot about ourselves and has given us a chance to explore new things. For others, obviously, it didn't go as planned, and lockdown obviously tested a lot of relationships, and I know a few couples that did actually split when lockdown lifted. they went their separate ways.
And that's not a bad thing. But it's not, that's the thing. I think it's, if a relationship has gone a separate way, that's just how it's part of part of your plan, right? Part of your life. And it can be, yes, we attract everything. Yes, everything's a manifestation, but it's a big learning process. You're always learning. It's never going to be a time where it's not something's happening for the bad of you. It's always happening for the growth of you, right? So it could be that they go on and they were not really, they thought they were like, well, I'm not saying no, it could be that they were soulmates at the time, but there's something bigger and better for each and one of them. And they could find this amazing, and it could have been amazing with the person they're with in the journey, but there's always something better, and one door closes, another door opens. So I think it's it's a great thing. And I think when people look at a relationship and say, oh, because it ended, and they look at the negatives, it's not about the negatives. It's like, what did you take from that? What did you learn about yourself? What can you take forward in life? What can you do different? What can you teach others? How can you inspire and empower people out of that journey that you've taken that and those experiences? And I think that's what we're here for. We're here to share together and make a difference to one another's life. And that's why I love this platform also, because we're able to speak about things that many people are not willing to speak about when it comes to mental health. And just to, Adam always says, I've heard him say a couple of times, you go to the doctors and they just throw a pill your way, and no one ever wants to get to the root cause of what the problem is. But actually, conversations like this can actually really help people understand, with gratitude, with good conversations, with understanding where your belief system is at, what's blocking you, what are you focused on throughout your day. These things can make a huge difference when you flip them,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and obviously that is one of the things I'm grateful for, that Adam was speaking to the late great Philip Chan, and obviously with Philip Chan he came up with the Mental Health Warriors, and we've started this. He started this channel on his own, and then he dragged me into it. And through the Warriors, we've met many amazing, brilliant people, and I've learned a lot about myself. The other warriors are learning things about themselves on a daily basis. And it's allowed us to become part of this dysfunctional little family, as we call it. And obviously,
I love it.
Torment Adam.
I love it.
That's got to be the best bit of one of the best things about the Warriors. We all get to torment Adam.
Yeah. He's funny.
Yeah,
brilliant.
but obviously the other thing is obviously meeting all the amazing guests, because people around the world have got amazing stories to tell, and obviously we get to listen to the stories and meet the people around them and put the faces of mental health out there to the public, raising awareness of mental health and putting an end to the stigma of mental health. And yes, you did drag me, Adam. You told me to go and interview Steve Knapp and Jason Bishop, and I did. And I enjoyed it.
There you go.
And that was it, you see? Always something good comes out of you, right?
Yeah, and obviously
brilliant.
Yeah, and obviously I interviewed Steve Knapp, and then the week later he joined the Warriors with us, so I can't have been that bad.
It was brilliant.
We always get pushed into paths that we have lots of fun finding for ourselves.
Yeah.
Usually,
absolutely.
Robert in the comments has put, it was awesome to see Adam as a guest on Bathrobe Moments, the place where I start my day and get grounded. Yes, both me and Adam have been on Bathrobe Moments with Loren, and Loren's an amazing host. He's been on Warriors as well, and we're hoping to link up with him again. Maybe watch out for that one.
Beautiful.
Have you had
to do with gratitude? What's that, Kerry?
Have you had the pleasure of meeting Loren?
No, I haven't. I haven't at all. I don't think I have.
Yeah.
Does that mean
We'll have to connect you up then. Loren Michael Harris.
No, definitely doesn't ring a bell. So
What about you, Liz?
Michael, what's the last name?
Loren Michael Harris.
No, not at all.
No, well, Adam's just popped up. Loren is on Warrior TV next week, so watch out for that one.
Yeah, brilliant. But yeah, if we I think if we go on to where we're all sitting today, I think this has brought us here due to being grateful. Would you say, ladies?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And you know, I think if anyone is going through something right now where they feel things are crumbling around them and things are not going well, try and switch that focus over. And I know it's one of the most difficult things to do when you're in turmoil and things are going in a way that you think is out of control for you. But you know what? If you just take that time every day and just sit and think of, it doesn't have to be material things to be grateful for, but just the fact of the breathing, of if you can walk, if you can talk, if you can hear, if you have your eyesight, just those things, or the fact that there's air, the fact that you can look outside, the sky, the clouds, the rain, the sunshine, if you have a beach nearby, the sand, or just the ground, or I always say, like, the traffic, we have traffic lights, we have roads that we can drive down, we can get to A to B in so many great ways with a road map on the ground that we didn't have to do anything to do that. It's there for us. It's been built for us. And I think these things are really part of our growth, and being able to be thankful for them and grateful for these things. It really does help switch over and flip around your point of attraction, because instead of thinking about what your problems are, you're thinking about what you're grateful for and what you can appreciate. And and thinking of the problem will bring more problems around, but thinking of what you're thankful and appreciative of will bring more to be thankful and appreciative of. So if there is something going on that you feel really is out of your control and you really don't know which way to turn, just take time daily, as often as you can, really, and just think of the things that you can be grateful for. And it's not necessarily going to be something that you'll watch a quick turnaround in seconds or moments, but it will, within a short period of time, you will be able to receive ideas, and you'll be able to see things you couldn't see before. Your eyes open to opportunities that were literally you were blindsided by when your focus was in the problem. So I think it's an amazing thing to be able to switch over to that gratitude and just watch your life kind of open up and find the solutions to your problems and focus on the solutions and be thankful for what is right here, right now, and what you have lived up until now.
It is so good, and it's so it is so true, because I mean, what you focus on grows, right? So if you're focusing on your problems all the time, it's always going to grow. There's always going to be more problems. You'll lose sight of yourself. You'll lose track of yourself. You'll lose sight of gratitude and abundance. And so it's okay. And here's the thing. It's okay to stay there. We're always in a season of transition, of transformation. It's okay to stay there, try to figure things out for yourself, try to understand the lessons and why you're going through a trial. When it becomes not okay is if you choose to stay there and not learn from it at all and not be grateful for it. Because we're okay. Like I was having a conversation about this with my husband a couple of days ago. I said, it's okay. Like, be unapologetic about it, about staying, feeling stuck or whatever, just kind of understanding your transition, understanding what you're meant to learn here, and then move forward. However long it takes. The world works in a very universal way, in a very divine way, and everything always happens by divine timing. So rather than rush the timeline of the universe, stay there, understand what's happening, and then we can move forward. And but
so true.
The trick is to actually move forward and not choose to stay there and not choose to go more down and dark into the rabbit hole until you completely lost yourself and you stay there. And it's like with me, it's like, oh, you've been there for 20 years. Don't you think it's time to get out now? And so that's when I was able to really understand that concept. And so gratitude helps a lot. Thank you for this journey. What else can I learn? What do I need to learn here?
That's a powerful question.
Yep.
It is.
Adam's actually asked a couple of questions. I have to ask, does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yes. For what pizza?
Yes, it does, Adam. It does. Comes out with London.
I love that. I love that. It's just such a break off of what we're actually, but actually we could be very grateful for that question because it's a big one, isn't it? A lot of people do ask. A lot of people go, ugh. Kerry, what is it for you? Yes or no?
Yes.
How about you, Liz?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mine's sometimes yes, sometimes no. It depends. It depends what mood I'm in. Does it go? Some days it's like, nah, just doesn't work. Other times, this really works. So yeah, I'm a yes and no.
Yeah. No, over Christmas. Yeah, go on.
Well, it's very similar to the question that my daughter always asks. It's like, do you drink or eat soup? And there's always been a controversy.
Do you drink or eat soup?
Dip your bread in it.
Yeah, you dip your bread in it. It's so true.
Dip your bread in it and eat it.
With lots of butter. With lots and lots of butter on it.
There you go.
I could go for a loaf of bread, actually.
On the bread.
I do. I have to have so much butter, and I could sit with a whole loaf and go through it. It's not even right what happens.
Oh, no, you dip your bread in soup and eat it, and then end up slopping the soup down your top.
Yeah, exactly that.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh.
Happy days. So what else have we got here? I have to ask. All right, we've seen that one. Oh yes, absolutely. So believe in yourself said, oh yes, absolutely. And Adam says, no, it doesn't. It's rubber.
Yeah. And Adam's other comment, Liz, would you recommend the Mental Health Warriors?
In regards to gratitude?
I think anything really, But Adam, recommend in what way? And he said pineapple should be destroyed. No, it shouldn't.
And I take it he doesn't like pineapple?
No, he doesn't. No. Over Christmas we did like a little buffet thing on Boxing Day, and we did sausages with pickled onion for him, and then sausages with pineapple for me. And I sat there and I ate them, and he's just like, how can you eat that? And I'm like, it's gorgeous. Little cocktail sausages and pineapple at a party. Well, it wasn't really a party. It was the four of us on Boxing Day. We had like a miniature party.
That's so cool. That's
party
so cool.
Of 4.
Brilliant. Recommend him anyway. Yeah. He said recommend him anyway. Yeah, just recommend. I suppose. I think just basically what he's asking is, would you recommend people to come on and listen and watch the Warriors? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Would I recommend for people to watch it? Is that what he means?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I've always believed in releasing and breaking the stigma of mental health. That's where my passion is. And so any type of medium such as mental health warriors it becomes a really powerful avenue, because then people understand that they're not alone, that there are other people that go through it. Because when we're going through our mental health journey, it's like there's got to be someone out there that is experiencing the same things, and so we always feel alone, right? And so avenues such as mental health warriors brings out the message that you're not alone in this. You can create an extraordinary life, and you can learn the lessons because these people have done it. Our guests have done it. And so the mental health warriors become the evidence. The guests on the show becomes the evidence of people who don't see the evidence at the moment.
Yeah. You know what? I think that's an amazing thing to sign off on. Thank you for joining us tonight, Liz. We will going to have to bring you back so you can share your story. So give us a message afterwards, and we can book you in for a one-on-one with one of our warriors.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming in. And tonight's been amazing.
Tomorrow,
tomorrow we've got Words as Medicine with Caroline Bennis at 8 p.m. I'm unsure if we've got anything else during the day. Adam, please tell me if we do. If not, I'm just going to sign off. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Join us again tomorrow for Caroline.
Thank you.
Yeah, see you later.
Thank you so much.
Good evening. Bye.
Bye.